Welcome to Fill and Tell, where we spill the tea on all things aesthetics.
We're your hosts. I'm Megan.
And I'm Lauren.
We're here to give you the inside scoop on what goes on behind the treatment room door.
From filler to facelifts, skincare to aesthetic secrets.
We're taking you behind the scenes of the industry with unfiltered conversations, expert insights, and maybe a little gossip along the way.
We're so excited to be here.
It's finally here.
I know.
I feel
we
like
have been talking about this for
literally a year.
easily.
And I'm just glad it's here.
I know. So we started with aesthetic tips.
Yes.
How long ago? Like a year and a half?
Yeah, it was like summer of 2023. And I feel like from then we've just grown so much and blossomed. And
Absolutely.
I feel like this is where this idea kind of came to fruition.
Right. So taking aesthetic tips, like 45-second clips, and expanding on those now. Because
Yes.
I feel like there's so much more that we want to say.
Yeah.
So much more that we want to like get into. And the Instagram algorithm just does not allow for
No,
that.
they don't want to see 3-minute
They do not.
long videos of us talking.
So this
Yeah.
will be fun. We can
Here it
really
is.
like dive deep and really get into the nitty gritty.
Yeah. We wanted to share a little bit of like behind the scenes, some unfiltered raw
Right.
us.
Yes. Because I feel like that day to day in the lab in our office is really what makes up
Yeah, it does.
the aesthetic
It
world.
does.
Before we dive into aesthetics, we should let our audience get to know us.
Yeah.
And
love
how we
that.
got here.
How we got here, what's our story,
Yeah.
how long we've been in aesthetics.
Yeah, for sure.
I love our story because I feel like we both came to Tallahassee with someone else, right? Someone else brought us here and then we ended up staying.
Totally different. Yeah.
Through trials and tribulations, you know.
Right. I know. A lot of heartache brought
Yes.
us
Yeah.
to this point.
So I think we should share that
Absolutely.
and start there.
So first things first, how long, I've been a PA for, it's like my 9th year.
That's
And
wild.
I feel old.
Like, how have you been a PA
I don't
for
know.
9
I
years?
just did
I feel like a baby PA.
I just did my recertification and
Yeah, that's
passed it.
wild.
So now I'm good
Congrats.
for 10 more years, but it's been 9 years. And so when I came out of PA school, like I thought I was going to play in the boys club.
Yeah.
And do orthopedics. And it was so fun. It like taught me so much. I got all of my technical skills from that
And
job.
you actually wanted to go to medical school,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And the person who ended up bringing me here was the reason I didn't end up
Yeah.
doing that. And honestly, blessing in disguise.
It
Because
is.
here we are.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon, which is so funny now, since I'm married to one.
Yes.
But, and just like the technical aspect of it, I loved.
Yeah.
So when I moved to Tallahassee, I did orthopedics for a little while longer. And, I loved that aspect, but it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was 80-hour work weeks. It was a lot of call. It was a lot of just like physical
Grinding.
labor.
Yes.
You were, reducing hips and elbows and all these things. And, so I was trying to figure out a way out of that. And I met my husband when I got here, which is so funny story because we worked together.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of drama of itself.
And
right?
we should get into that.
Yeah.
But basically, you've been a PA. So what year did you become a PA?
2016.
And now it's 2025.
Yeah.
You worked in aesthetics, ventured into
No, orthopedics.
orthopedics, ventured into aesthetics.
So I've been in aesthetics now for 4 years. This will
Yep.
be my, yeah.
Yep.
And you've been here
5.
5.
Yeah.
So right out of school.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I graduated PA school in 2019, right before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Landed what I thought was a very good opportunity as a brand new PA to be working in plastic surgery.
For sure.
And then COVID happened. Literally graduated in 2019, started my job in 2020. COVID happened literally right then. And so that kind of was a hindrance in terms of getting into aesthetics. There was a time when I was trying to get into some trainings and they kept being canceled because you just couldn't have that hands-on. So it has been a very fun 5 years. This is all I know, as a PA.
I know.
But you learn.
This is way better than orthopedics, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is your
way better.
This is your vibe.
Yes. So what brought you to Tallahassee? I think is like a burning question for sure.
Okay, so what brought me to Tallahassee? So I was engaged as you know. And I went to PA school in Charleston. We're both from Central Florida area. He wanted to create a business in Tallahassee. And so in my mind, I was like, Tallahassee? I went to undergrad here. It was not on my to-do list to go back to Tallahassee. I was against it. Like, I did give a little bit of pushback, but we ended up moving here together. So that was January 2020, and shortly thereafter, he decided that we were no longer compatible. He was moving out, and like, that was it.
Yeah.
So baby
and
PA,
then
COVID, in the middle of COVID,
right?
Literally asked me for rent money.
Yeah.
As I was in my job for 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, COVID, broken engagement, new job, $150,000
£30
of
weight
loans,
loss.
30-pound weight loss, truly at like rock bottom.
Right.
But I look back and, I don't want that to be my entire story. That is a part of me. That
Absolutely.
is definitely what molded me into this very strong, independent person I am today. I look back and I'm thankful now, but like, you've gone through something hard like that. There was a period of probably that first year, which was just rock bottom.
Yeah.
But once you hit rock bottom and you're there,
there's only one way up.
There's only one way up.
Right.
And I remember sitting there feeling very, very sad.
Yeah.
And telling myself, I will grow from this. Like, I'm here, but I will absolutely, it was sort of like ashes to,
right.
To.
Absolutely. I have like a similar story.
Yeah.
I mean, I randomly found this job because my husband at the time thought that this would save our marriage.
Yeah.
Moving away from our family, away from my friends. I remember sitting my family down and being like, hey, we're moving to Tallahassee, Florida.
And your whole family lives there.
Yes. And never did I ever think that would happen. And so immediately when I got here, though, I knew that I was like, this seems like the right place. I met who is now one of my best friends, moved in with her.
Yeah. She
graciously opened up her home to me to just live with her for almost 3 full months. I met tons of people and tons of friends. And so I knew it was going to be okay.
Yeah.
We really tried to work it out. I was in therapy. And
literally every day or every week,
yes,
right?
Every freaking
while you're
week.
going through that. Yeah.
And so
shout out to our girl.
We love her. We see the same therapist. So, but she was so great. And she really helped me to come. She really, I think, has molded me in who I am today because she gave me so much strength to just be like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yes. Who cares what people think about you going through what you're going through? Because no one's in your shoes.
Yes, because I heard every single rumor about myself that I could have ever heard. Yep. I'm going through this divorce with my husband. I'm in this new job, and I met my current husband, who we all love and adore. Yes. I mean, he is the best.
He is the best.
But he was going through in the middle of a divorce, and we were honestly trauma dumping on one another and just bonding over that almost. And he helped me get an apartment. He helped me move my furniture. He was such a good friend to me at the time. And I know people want it to be dramatic. They want it to be a story. They wanted me to be pregnant.
Yes, they wanted you to be just a horrible person.
Yes.
And let's be honest. Unfortunately, divorce happened.
Yeah.
And it happened, and you met someone beautiful and amazing through that. And so you're actually winning.
Absolutely.
We're winning.
We are. And so it was just a crazy story, I told the company that I was working for, look, we want to date and obviously we shouldn't work together. So we kind of split up, and I was looking for another job. I interviewed with ENT. I interviewed with dermatology. I knew I needed to be hands-on. Yeah. And plastic surgery was the perfect fit. Yeah. And it was funny because I interviewed, and I was like, he told me, he was like, there's no way. You're never going to make what you're making. Mm-hmm. And I was like, don't worry about that. Yep. I'll worry about that. You just give me the job and I'll make it happen. And I mean, now I think that what we're making now is far surpassed what we were making before. So,
but I think that goes to show sort of this drive, we both, again, it goes back to being at a place that was so low and just constantly daily telling yourself you can do better, you can do better, you can be better.
Yeah.
And that's sort of how this has come to fruition.
So no scandals, unfortunately.
Yeah,
we're married. We're super happy. I was pregnant probably 5 times in a year, I think is what I heard. Something crazy.
I was like, what?
You're like, how's that possible?
I'm like, you didn't tell me.
No, every time I talked to somebody, they were like,
you had heard that rumor about yourself. Yeah.
And I was like, wow, how can this keep coming up?
Correct.
And I've heard everything.
Yep.
But I think that's what small but big town does to you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like gossip fuel, is just like wildfire.
Yep.
And so we're setting the story straight right here.
And, opposite of me, for a long time, I really didn't want to talk about it. I sort of felt embarrassed, about my story. And you're like, I'm sure you felt this. Like, how can this be happening to me?
Oh, yeah.
You never expect that something so awful could happen to you. It's it is a death. You know, it's a death in your life. And it takes a lot to mourn the death of someone who's alive, and the death of a relationship that's alive, and
then overcome
it tenfold. Because I think we both have done that, and I think that just makes this better. It really makes it feel so much sweeter, and
I know, and it's so funny because we instantly connected.
Mm-hmm.
We lived in the same apartment complex.
Yes, we did.
We met at the pool one random day, and I'm a couple years older than you, but we're very similar in age and really just clicked.
Yep.
And when we finally got when I got my feet wet a little bit, I was like, let's take this to Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You were off Instagram.
I was.
You weren't even on there.
I had been off for
a couple years?
3 years.
3 years?
I couldn't see people's highlight reels.
Right.
I just was still so sad.
Right.
So
I was like, let's get on. And I kind of got on there before you. I cringed at my earlier post. And then you kind of followed suit. You finally reactivated, got back on there. And shortly after that, we were like, let's educate the community.
Yes.
Everyone is so quiet sometimes about aesthetics, especially in a small town, that I really think that we've been able to kind of open up people's eyes and just be like, this is not so taboo.
Yes.
This is actually normal. We're all doing it. Let's talk about it and let's have fun.
Yeah.
So I think that that's really where we kind of connected. And now you're my person.
Yeah.
So,
and then even, this drive to also take it to the next level.
Yeah.
We've always been like, what can we do better? What more
next?
Can we do? What's next? And I think we gravitate towards one another because of that
easily.
As well.
And so aesthetics has been, we've really come a long way. I feel like right now is where we really I feel super confident in what I'm doing every day. And obviously we continue to do trainings and all of these things, but now you feel like, okay, I think I know
a little bit about what I'm doing.
Exactly what I'm doing, but it takes a little while. And I think that's what's so interesting about this field. This isn't taught anywhere. It's a lot of self-teaching. It's a lot of just getting on trainings, getting on some of these websites that we're on, getting on Patreon, learning yourself.
Yeah.
And you gotta dig deep and you gotta really figure it out because we did not have people to teach us.
Correct.
Essentially. We had surgeons that we worked with, but we did not have aesthetic teachers, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I really, really loved about you and I look up to is that you came from orthopedics. You jumped in. It was almost like you told yourself, I'm going to be the best. I want to be the best, but also for the safety of your patients, right? You had to know what you were doing. But you were teaching me things, and I had been in about a year and a halch before you. And so that's also when I was like, this is also my person. I can hang out with her and we'll be good together.
I'll never forget when I had to do my first filler patient. I was like, what am I supposed to do?
Where do I put this gel?
I'm on this training website that I'm on. I'm like, how to do cheek filler. And I'm so thankful for those early patients. My mother,
yes,
who
shout out Kel.
Everything,
yes,
because I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah,
and I think that's a great message though for other people who are trying to get into aesthetics is find a good mentor.
Yeah,
because otherwise you got to really you got to learn it yourself and you got to make mistakes and you have to figure out how to fix those mistakes. You got to figure out a lot versus having somebody if we had a new injector to just skirt alongside of us, it would be so much easier. That would be a
cush beginning.
Yes.
Is having 2 people, 3 people in one space and being able to just pop questions
easily
back and forth. Yeah, like going off of what you said with aesthetic tips, sort of how this was born. I really do feel like we are helping our community in a way by educating them on aesthetics. Like you said, it's a taboo subject. Mm-hmm. And so we are breaking down barriers, and we're like, hey, Karen down the road, she has filler.
Yes.
And she has Botox. And that's really what's helped us grow our Instagram, our clientele, our business, as, you know, is Instagram single-handedly. And, you know, I think
it took off a couple of, probably 2 years ago now. You got back on your original Instagram and kind of made it into what it is. Yeah. And I started mine from 0.
Yes, you did.
Like,
proud of you.
I think that's a daunting thing to think about now, because I started it from 0 people, and I was just like, let's see what happens.
Follow me.
Here we
please.
Go. And so it really has. I was at my dentist today, and she's like, I saw you on Instagram, like you and Megan, and I loved it. And so it's so funny because you run into so many people who maybe you don't think that they're watching, or maybe you don't think that they know, and like people are seeing it.
Yes.
And it really has opened up so much more of a discussion. It's just like, well, okay, you're right. Like it's not so secretive, and it's okay to like completely want to improve the way you feel, the way you look. Like we all a lot of us work out, a lot of us eat healthy, and like that's improving our physical shape, which improves your mental shape. And so I think that when you're super active, when you're super healthy and you feel good, but you don't necessarily aren't like projecting that in the mirror, then you don't feel as good as you could. Mm-hmm. And so some of the before and afters that we have, the transformations that we've made, like those patients truly feel so much better at the end of that.
And even showing our before and afters. Yeah. Like, hey, this is how you can look when it's done right.
Yeah.
And, you know, just for anyone listening who maybe is at 0 on their Instagram account and like starting from scratch, we have single-handedly built aesthetics at our practice.
And in Tallahassee,
in Tallahassee from the ground up. Yes. You know, when I started, we were injecting nasolabial folds and calling it a day. Yeah. We were using 1 syringe. I mean, we are now doing full faces with 6 syringes, 100 units of Botox, and people look more natural than they ever did. You just filled a fold right here. Yeah. So I'm just, I mean, when you look back, you have to be proud of us. Super. Because it's been truly 0 to, you know, 10-fold. Yeah. And so anyone listening, just keep going, keep posting. Instagram is a free way to market yourself. I think that was our big thing, was like, okay, what do we want to do? We want to educate people first and foremost, and then we want to have a little fun doing it. And then we want to share some really cool before and afters that show that you can do all of these things while looking natural. Yeah. So yeah, I think
that's a big takeaway. I think, you know, and I think that that's huge, and especially the way aesthetics has kind of transformed. You know, 10 years ago, we were doing things a much different way. And COVID, honestly, was this weird era where people were kind of blowing themselves up too much. And now we're kind of like, everyone's coming down from the high of COVID,
which I'm so thankful for.
Yes, we're kind of getting a lot more normal, and we're normalizing the way that we look as well. And so I'm doing a lot of dissolving stuff. You're doing a lot of dissolving stuff because people want to feel like themselves again and look more natural. And so I love that because I think you look natural. I think I look natural. So that's how we want our patients to look at the end of the day. Is for them to walk around feeling confident and nobody knowing that they've had anything done. Yeah. And I think that's the best compliment that you can have.
It is. Okay, let's end with something fun.
Let's do
a little bit of it. We love our this or that.
We do. Sometimes we're the same. Sometimes we're different.
I know. So I'm excited to see what these ones are. You go.
Botox or filler?
I have to go with Botox.
Okay.
What do you pick?
I think I pick Botox too.
Yeah.
I'm here for a full face of Botox every day of the week.
When it kicks in, it's so good.
It's so good. Okay. Lip flip or lip filler?
A subtle, natural lip filler will
do it for you.
Yeah.
I love lip filler too. Yeah. I think it makes it's definitely the biggest impact. Lip flip, okay. You're getting a little something. Yep. You're like getting your toes
it's your
wet,
gateway
and
drug.
Then 4 weeks later it's gone. So, okay.
SPF makeup or full glam?
Oh, SPF all the way.
SPF all the way.
I love to look at myself in the mirror and just see that like hint of glow.
Little
as
color
the light,
science blush.
As the light catches. Yes, I would trade it every day.
Yeah. Also, I am that 31-year-old who like actually doesn't have a foundation. I do need to get an actual foundation, but it's my color science.
That's it.
Flex.
It's got great coverage though.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Prescription retinoid or Alpharet? I know what my answer is.
I know what yours
is, actually. I know you're going to pick prescription. So
I know.
Just do it.
Yeah. Yes, prescription.
Yeah, I'm an Alpharet girly through and through. So
I think I'm a prescription retinoid because I haven't had trouble with it.
Yeah.
So I feel for the people that get dry and flaky and simply can't use it. And
Yes.
so that's where I'm always recommending Alpharet.
Okay.
Blush or bronzer?
Blush.
I knew you were going to pick that. You love your blush.
Yes.
I think I picked bronzer.
I would think that too.
I feel a little bronze goes a long way. It just gives me some life to my face.
All right.
I know your answer.
Wine or martini?
Yours is a dirty martini.
All day.
Mine, it can be an espresso martini.
I know.
Megan's
Megan's
been giving me a headache lately.
Trying to get on the dirty martini train so hard. And just stick to the espresso though. You like it.
Why do I love a good trend? Like, why are they so trendy right now?
They are.
I want to be there with my blue cheese stuffed olives.
Right. I don't like olives. I love olives. That's you. You don't like olives.
I don't like the taste of vodka, which tastes like a martini. So
yes,
yeah.
I've been drinking dirty martinis forever.
No, I know you have. You drank them before they were cool.
Yeah.
Now it's all of a sudden
the OG cool girl.
Korean skincare or drugstore?
I'm a drugstore girl. Out of the two,
yeah. I think you think that I'm gonna say Korean.
I would think that,
but I'm not.
Okay.
I'm gonna say drugstore.
Okay.
Because
you had a Korean beauty face
for a second.
You did.
But I'm on the Vanicream like Cetaphil La Roche. Some of those are actually so good.
The Prequel. I'm a huge
you
fan of the Prequel.
What's one? Oh, in Avene.
Yes.
I mean, Avene is
it's
like
a French drugstore classic.
To the point where we may even incorporate that in our post-procedure because it's that good.
Yes. All right. Splurge, designer bag, or shoes?
Being that I don't have any designer shoes and
that.
One designer bag. This is more of a question for you. I would love every designer bag if I could.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick bag. I want a new one. I just can't bite the bullet.
I know. I do too, actually. I'm looking at a few. It's going to be my treat. And
are you going to pick between a bag or a shoe? Because
I'm going to pick bag.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I do have a few pair of designer shoes that I love.
Yeah, you do.
I got some YSL pumps that I think are just like chef's kiss.
They are very pretty.
So, I think that, but I would pick a bag.
Bag.
Yeah.
You can wear that. It's more versatile.
Mm-hmm.
You can
easily.
Okay. Early morning workout or after work workout?
I wish I could do it after work.
Me too.
There's just no way it's going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
No.
But it has to be early morning.
It's about a half and half for early morning. I'm either getting up and working out or I'm sleeping in. But yes, I would choose early morning.
Yes, I would choose early morning.
You're good about early morning.
I try.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. Last one.
Okay. So content, trendy or educational? What do you choose?
That's a hard one.
I know.
I have more fun with trendy.
Of course.
Like the funny ones that we do. And I really do feel like they get a lot of engagement and it makes us more real than just, you should get Botox here. But education is, I feel like, our strong suit.
Yeah.
I'm
picking education. Yeah.
Well, I'll pick trendy. It'll be the best of both worlds.
All right. Well, thanks for coming.
Our first one.
We did it. I know. We're so excited. Stay tuned for the next episode. We're going to get more into aesthetics.
Yes.
We're really going to get deep into the aesthetic world, what's going on, all of the things that people don't want to talk about, we're going to talk about. So,
in unfiltered.
Yes.
In an
unfiltered version. Yes.
Until next time.